What advice do you have to anybody who wants to pursue a career in acting?
Just keep trying till you can't try anymore. That's all I can say. You know, I mean, where do you live now?
I still live in Chicago.
Great. Well, that's a good place. That's a good place for the theater. You know, great place for the theater, actually. It's a great place to start out in the theater. You know, it's different now because wherever you live in the country, there are university programs and there are theaters, there are resident theater companies where you can intern. There's so many different ways to plug yourself into the world of the performing arts across the country, whereas you really had to be in Chicago, LA, or New York. San Francisco, Seattle, Boston, you know, but really in a big, big way, New York and LA, and then Chicago. Now there's so many more places you can be and start, you know, sort of launch yourself, begin, like, you know, whether you're studying or whether you want to just get a job as an intern in a theater. I mean, David Mamet started as a busboy at Second City, you know, watching Belushi and all those guys do their thing. He started writing little sketches and expanded them into plays. I mean, just get around it. My feeling, you know, I mean, there's a lot of, and here we are in Juilliard, there's a lot of training to be had, and there's, to some degree, there's training that's really good for you. I mean, can really prepare you for some things. I think in schools like Juilliard, the reason that so many Juilliard graduates do well is because they have their pick of everybody, and they just manage to get a lot of talented people who would probably do well anyway. I hate to say that. I think that, and there are great teachers here, you know, Michael Kahn, and I mean, there are wonderful, wonderful teachers here, and people who really know the business and know how to work. So if going to a university which has a strong theater program like Northwestern, which is one of the best in the country, you know, or places here, or, you know, if that appeals to you as a way in, that's a great way to start. Now, it didn't used to be, but now it is, you know. But, you know, you can also have a wonderful career just by going out there and just trying to get a job. Really, I mean, you know, just to get any job you can anywhere near a theater and try to work. And I mean, because for the most part, when you look at all the actors who have ever worked, most people did it that way. Came to it one way or another. Most people do not come to a career. Over history, most people did not come to a career in the performing arts through the academy. They come from all different, there's so many different ways into the business. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great, and we know that you can be seen if you've graduated from a really good school, and more power to you. That's great. But it's not the only way in. So be aware of that. There are lots of, but just, you know, if you're in a local situation, get the newspaper. Is the theater hiring? Are they looking for, you know, whatever it is, get close to it. Because ultimately it's any profession is like an apprenticeship to some degree. You really learn the important stuff on the job. Acting is really like that. It's really, really like that. You learn when you're doing it, and you learn when you're doing it in front of a camera or in front of an audience. Because the level of requirement, it's what happens in here, you know, when you're working in front of a camera, in front of an audience. Everything just pops up about 100%. So that's really where you learn. It's kind of an on-the-job training career. You know, it's not like ballet, where my parents were ballet dancers and then teachers. And there's a technique and there's stuff you have got to learn in the classroom. You have got to learn the stuff in the classroom. You can't do it. You just can't do the choreography. You can't do the stuff. Yeah, you have to learn how to use your voice if you're going to be in the theater. It's important to be heard in the balcony. You know, the most important thing if you're going to be in a play is that every single member of the audience should hear every single word that the playwright writes. Every word. Everybody in the audience should hear every word. That's my job. So you have to learn stuff about that. But you know, I didn't train. I never went to school for it. And I decided at Williamstown Summer Theater Festival one year when I was doing 2 or 3 plays, Liz Smith, who teaches here, one of the great vocal coaches in the world, you know, she was there for the summer. And I thought, you know what? I said, Liz, teach me. I went every day, worked with her every day all summer, because I wanted to learn that stuff, you know, and I knew a lot of it already, but, you know, it was great to have that kind of concentrated. So, you know, pick it up where you can.